everybody, welcome back to my channel. I am out here in my raised garden area. It's an overcast day, the weather is beautiful, and I thought I'd go ahead and do a walkthrough of my raised garden bed area before the sun comes out. So I don't have a lot going on out here, but I do have all the beds seeded. There are some sprouting up. So we'll go ahead and turn the camera around and I'll walk through and show you what I've got going on. And of course, just as soon as I turn the camera around, the sun starts to peek through. Let's go ahead and start over on this side. In front of this bed I believe this one is an August Beauty gardenia. I have the Jubilation gardenias and the August Beauties, and they're very difficult for me to decipher between which is which, but I do believe that this one's August Beauty, and I believe that one over there is an August Beauty. Down here I have an upright lantana. This one came back from last season. Now I lost the other one that I had right here, so I just put this one in the ground, and it's a different variation. These grow really fast though, so in no time they'll be filling out that area. In this bed right here, I have a variety of different cosmos planted, and this bed did seed pretty well, germinated pretty well. The other bed in the back that I planted with cosmos, only 2 germinated, so I had to reseed it with something different. This area, when we first set this up, was a veggie garden. This was my husband's area when we first set it up. And then he decided it wasn't quite big enough for what we needed or what he wanted to do. So we moved the veggie garden on the other side of the house, which I'll probably show in another video down the road. I'll let him do all the talking in that one. Right here I have not sure which variety of rose this is. I bought this from a bare root probably 4 years ago. It puts on really pretty blooms. I just wish I knew which variety it was. It doesn't have much of a scent. Anybody have a clue what that is? Throw me some names. And these are coming up pretty good. They look pretty small for pretty short. I'm assuming that they'll get a little taller as they go. There's a sunflower that's self-seeded. I didn't put that there. Back here I have some zinnias. I'm gonna say these are the purple ones. I didn't pull the tag for that, so I'll have to put a picture of which ones those are. I did put some Asian garden celosia in the back due to not having really good germination back here with the cosmos. This bed has 2 different varieties, possibly I think 3 varieties of sunflowers. I'll show you the packets. In that corner I have a dwarf sunflower. It might be the teddy bear. I've planted 3 different varieties of dwarf. 2 of them are in that bed. So I don't recall if I put the dwarf teddy bear or one of those other varieties. And then there's some Asian garden celosia right here that reseeded itself from last year. And I have some dwarf sunflowers on this one too. Just don't recall if that was the dwarf teddy bear. And I moved one of my emerald green arborvitaes back here. It was in my shade garden where I put the new rose bed in, back behind the rose bed, and it didn't fit in the plan of a shade garden. So I moved it out. I just didn't think it would look good next to a bunch of caladiums, ferns, and elephant ears. And this is a passion flower vine I had in the ground last year, and it is popping up everywhere. I pulled it out as soon as I realized it was going to become invasive. So I pulled it out of the ground and I stuck it in a container, and it's not really doing so great in the container, but I would rather it not do good than take over my entire garden. And this looks like it's possibly a ragweed. I need to pull that out. I don't think that is a Cosmo variety. This is a honeysuckle vine with the trellis that we brought from my late mother-in-law's house, and it's starting to put on a lot of good growth. Right here you can see this is the passion flower vine. It is still sprouting up. I have to keep pulling these out, and there's no root attached. They just break from the root system, and it's really frustrating. I bought it at a nursery, and one of the ladies said it wasn't invasive, but it apparently looks like it is. This is the bed with 2 different varieties of dwarf sunflowers, and here's the packages. Dwarf Incredible and Incredible. Back in this area, I have an outrageously sized sunflower that I did not purposefully plant this year, and another one right there. I'm not sure if they seeded from that back bed, because I don't usually put huge sunflowers in this bed up front. So it probably reseeded from that back bed last year. There's also some orange zinnias mixed in. You wouldn't know they were in here unless you got in really close. These are gorgeous. I didn't plant these this year. I must have sowed these last fall, because nothing really sprouted in this bed last fall. I was kind of frustrated that my sunflowers, I actually planted that with sunflowers last year, and not a single one came up. But those are all from this spring that I planted. So I'm not sure which variety of sunflower this is. And it looks like it's about 8 feet tall. Down here, some zinnias that are coming up pretty good. And back here are some Ford Hook hollyhocks that I had seeded in some cell trays, and just decided to put them out here because I didn't know where to stick them. So this is what I have planted in this bed. Let's see. This is just some various containers that I've just stuck back here that I didn't want to toss. Some fall mums. This is an indigo. I believe it's called an indigo. They're kind of invasive as well. I have some in my shade garden over by my rose bed that I cannot get rid of. They just keep popping up all over the place. It is frustrating. And then the purple oxalis, which I think is absolutely beautiful. I've got it everywhere. These are some Greaux daisies that I actually had in the ground, and they weren't doing well 2 years ago. So I stuck them in the raised bed over here. I actually had them in this one. And they come back. They've been coming back. I think this is their 3rd spring coming back. And I have a cranberry hibiscus. I think it's called Mahogany Splendor as well. That was out here. I had that out here last year, and I put it in the garage during the winter, and it's really filling back out again. Ooh, there's a bloom. Already a bloom. Let's see. How pretty is that? And some pink and white verbena. I don't know which variety this is. I don't think it's the cashmere pink, or what, if that's the name. But that has been out here in my raised bed. I think that's this is the 3rd spring that it's come back as well. And in here I have some Mesa Peach blanket flower, and that comes back for me. This is the Cheyenne Spirit Echinacea. I have 3 of these. They're mixed in there. That blanket flower is overtaking everything. They'll probably be good for another season, and I might have to remove the echinacea and put them somewhere else. This is some Coreopsis. I think this is the mouse ears variety. I'm not sure, but it does come back every year. Super cute. There's a Clayome that has reseeded itself. I actually got those popping up in different locations, and if it's not in the way, I'll just go ahead and leave it. And I have some Cascading Dianthus. They're still blooming. A lot of them have already faded, but I think this is so pretty. This has been in this container for about 3 years as well. First year didn't do anything really, but it's been putting lots and lots of growth on. It's all the way down here. And I'm just going to let it go as much as it wants. And this container is a tropical hibiscus, and this one's always super slow at coming back, but it's coming back. That is a potting table that my husband built for his mother many years ago. And after she passed, I didn't want him to discard it. I mean, he put a lot of work into it as a young man, so I thought I could get some use out of it. And so I put it back here, and it stores a lot of my containers and some of my random tools that I need. This is the bed that I put some cosmos in and only had 2 that germinated. So I reseeded it about 2 weeks ago with bachelor button. I don't know if the name, it's called Blue Boy. And I don't see any germination yet. I don't know. It says it takes 10 to 14 days, and it's going on about that time. So we'll see if I get any germination out of that one. There's also some cleomes in here because this bed was seeded with cleome about 3 years ago. And they usually overtake this entire bed. I usually don't have to reseed this bed with anything because I love the cleome, but just kind of thought it was time for something new. There's a lot of weeds in here. Believe me, I weed this thing constantly, nonstop. I have these, whatever these are, I'm not quite sure what these are, but they're ridiculous. And when you pull them, the roots don't completely come out, and that's what is invading this entire bed. Along with these things, I'm not quite sure what the name of it is. I've looked it up before, and these are horrible. They have seeds all over the back of them, and when you pull them, they fall, and they are like so invasive. This is another, I need to deadhead this, a white rose. I bought this the same time I bought that red one over there. They were both bare root from Walmart, probably like 3 or 4 years ago, and probably 3 years ago. I don't know the name. I didn't keep labels at that time. Wasn't concerned with trying to remember plants because I didn't realize at that time that this was going to become such a massive area. I do know the majority of my plants. There are some that I don't recall or don't even know the name of. And I've got some of these strawberries down in here that I've planted recently. I do have the tag for this somewhere. I got some little strawberries going, and the slugs and snails, they eat all of my berries before I even get a chance to enjoy any of them. Haven't gotten that one yet because it's not ripe. That's a sweet sensation. I think these are the Ozark Beauties right here. And that one I have a tag for. I don't remember which variety that one is. I just got it, I don't know, 6 weeks ago. Let's see. Down here I have some Liatris. I think it's a blazing star. And an August Beauty gardenia. Has a blossom on it. They smell amazing. This is a Pearl Glam Beauty Berry. I planted this last fall, and right before we had our severe drought, it wasn't doing good. I've had to cut a lot of this back. It does have some little buds coming up on it though. I'm not quite sure what's going on with this area. I might have to trim these 2 branches off. Right here I have a Scent Amazing gardenia. That's brand new. I just put that in the ground this late winter or early spring. And down here are some Lithadora. They're creeping. They don't get very big. I had 2. This one just burned up. I don't know if it dried out or what it was. Also, I weed probably every single day, but there's these little things that come up. It's called chamber bitter. And if you don't pull them before they go to seed, which doesn't take long, then you'll have millions of them because they are like seed spores. So when the seed comes off it, the spores just spread everywhere. That is actually the worst weed I have in my gardens. Down here I have some Crocosmia. I think it's the Lucifer variety. I just put those in the ground, I don't know, maybe 5 weeks ago. 5 or 6 weeks ago. Oh, there's some canna lilies back here. These were given to my husband by his mother. I don't know, probably 4 years ago. We put them in the ground. They bloom, I believe, orange and yellow color. Very pretty. And she gave us these trees also. These are golden rain trees. That one as well. She loved these trees. I have a Carolina sapphire cypress right here. Just kind of wanted to make a little wall to block out all the stuff back there, so it has a pretty backdrop. I don't mind. I mean, I think the woods are pretty, but you can see I just trimmed this black gum. These branches grow ridiculously fast, and they were completely covering my sunshine ligustrum, so I just trimmed them back and tossed them back there. That's a good thing about living on the edge of the woods. You can just throw your brush back there. Down here I have some crazy daisy, Shasta daisies. I seeded these and stuck these right here last spring, and they didn't do anything last year. I guess it takes a while for them to bloom. Maybe it takes 2 years to bloom. Finally has a little head, a little flower bud on it. And my sunshine ligustrums. This is a camellia. I think it's a sasanqua variety. I don't know what name it is. When I bought it, I think 3.5 years ago, it had pink blossoms. And I don't have the tag for it, so I'm not sure which variety. It might be an October Magic, but it hasn't bloomed since I bought it. It has grown considerably, but it hasn't bloomed any. So I'm hoping maybe this fall, late fall, early winter, it'll bloom. This is a lemon burst arborvitae. It gets about, I think, 4 feet tall, 4 to 5 feet tall by maybe 3 feet wide. I'll put the description of it up if I'm wrong. And this is the Fairy Trail Bride hydrangeas. I've got 4 of these right here in this bed, and they're looking really pretty. These pretty little blossoms. They've been in the ground for 2 years now. My secret garden door. The jasmine are blooming. And I don't recall what this is. I think it's called a curly willow grass. Could be wrong. I just tossed it back there because it's been in that container for like 3 years. And that is the gist of my raised garden area. I'm excited to see all these sunflowers in the back. And the cosmos, of course. Now, this water spigot is brand new out here. I used to have to trail the garden hose all the way from up there. Used to have to track it way out here, and I would have to connect like 2 or 3 hoses to reach all the way out there to the other end. Well, I didn't have the rose garden at the time, but I did have the fence with the Peggy Martin on it. So I had to trail the garden hose all the way out there, and I would, get lazy and not put it up, and my husband would come out to mow the yard, and he would have to put the garden hose up. And yeah, he got tired of doing that. So I knew he was tired of doing that, and I hated coming out here and having to do that, especially if I was working. So we decided, I asked him if he would put water in my gardens. So we did. We connected some, I can't remember what the pipe is called, but it's a water pipe. We dug trenches. As you can see, some of it, the grass hasn't grown back up. We dug trenches all the way out to here. And then I wied it, or teed it, out to that way, so I have water out in my rose garden as well. It really wasn't that difficult to do. You don't have to put the pipe down very far. 4 inches is deep enough. We don't get heavy freezes like they do up north. So now I have water here. I'm so excited. This has been so handy to me, and I just love it. It's a game changer for me to have water out here. And you can see where it trails back here, and then it goes back behind all of this stuff, back to my rose area. See, I'm lazy. I didn't put my hose up. So yeah, water out here. And now I can actually reach out to the end of the road here, because I do have plants in this, above this culvert. It was never really planted or tended to, so I've got plants out here. There's some purple fountain grass, which looks like it needs watered. That one, and then 3 of these obsession nandinas. The obsession nandinas have been right here. This is their 2nd year, and they're not putting a lot of growth on, but they look healthy. They're just super tiny. Probably need some good fertilizer and some good watering. Ellie Mae. Look at the grass that needs cut. My husband's so busy working, he doesn't really have a lot of time to come out here and cut the grass. He's just nonstop doing things and working overtime. Hi, come say hi to everybody. This is my miniature dachshund, Ellie Mae. She's 6 years old. She's a little tiny little thing. She's the sweetest little girl. She has to be outside when I'm gardening, but she needs to be in the shade because she gets hot. And then in the winter not winter, but in the fall, she freezes, so she has to have her little coat on. Sweet girl. She's a sweet girl. She is my heart. Look at these dahlias. Aren't they just absolutely phenomenal? This is the Tahiti Sunrise that I planted from tubers. This one down here has got a little bud on it, but this one is just doing fabulous. Just wanted to show this beauty before I ended this video. It's in my woodland garden area. All right, thanks everybody for walking through my raised garden bed area with me. It's the weekend and I have lots of things to do, so I'm gonna get to it, and I hope you all enjoy your weekend. Please like and subscribe. It will really help my channel. Appreciate it. Bye y'all.